Hey, what's up everybody, Prospector here with Watcher Realms. If you are struggling on Gear Raid 1 Stage 19 to break through that threshold, this is the video for you. I have a full epics / free-to-play team because we have Volka on the team. She's not going to be used except for her redeployment time, so this is the team that we're going to be going with that you can see on screen right now. But anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Alright, so there's a few caveats to this team that I'm showing you today. The one of those caveats is that all of these epic heroes are actually Awakened 5. But not all of them need to be, right? So Mari doesn't really need to be Awakened level 5. Lightlock does not need to be Awakened level 5. Novros is probably one that you would like to have there, but you can actually fuse him over and over and over again. So I consider him very accessible. Hollow is very important. I believe her Awakened 5 is just increasing the efficiency of accumulating rage. So it can be important and it cannot be. It really depends on if you can build some rage into your kit, if you can build some your heroes can come back fast enough for their ultimates, essentially. Now we have Greed as well. Greed is going to need, well, I'd say the Awakened level 3 would be really nice, but you should try to get your Greed if you're early to mid game up and you're struggling with Gear Raid 119 because he is amazing, and I'll explain that a little bit. And then we have Aeon, who does not need any awakenings. She's just there for some vulnerabilities. And then we have, well, of course, Greed is actually there for magic res reduction as well. That's the main reason. We do have Laurel here as well. Now on the Awakened level 5, during the effective nature's aspiration, restores rage for 1 more target, so that's not important. Not important. Cost -1 is pretty nice. Not essential, but pretty nice. And then Awakened level 1 is during the effective nature's aspiration, reduces damage taken by 20%. So as you can see, the big one is going to be the cost reduction. She can cycle back sooner and sooner. I'll explain that as well. Okay. Now, it's a Laurel cycle team. So we're going to be talking a lot about Laurel. We're talking a lot about Volka. Volka has this combination with Laurel that works really good for gear raids or any stage that you're doing, and also for guild bosses as well. So Nightmare 3, 4, etc. is going to help you out a lot with this. So on her Awakening level 1, you don't need to Awaken level 5, 2, 3, 4, or anything like that. All you're looking for is the Awaken level 1, so you should be able to achieve pretty quickly. The allies' redeployment time is reduced by 25%. This is going to help you place down Laurel next to some units, and when you pick her up, she has the ability to restore 50% of their rage cap. So that also counts as big when you pick her up. It says upon death, but it also counts when you pick her up, and otherwise when she would die. Now she doesn't need really any gear on her, so you could just take this off. It doesn't really matter. It's helpful to have it if you can put an Invig set on, if that's possible. I'm going to be also using tier 1 gear only, as far as I can tell. I'll do my best to make sure that's the case. You don't need any tier 2 gear, or tier 3 especially. Let's go and check out Greed really quickly here. Greed's going to be in a Night Terror set and Calamity. Now I'm going to explain the build here, and this is going to go across all of your DPS if you're trying to push gear raids in any kind of way. You can take this as a full-on guide for any epic hero. So, attack bonus, and attack bonus, Calamity. Okay, why do we run it like this? Well, the main reason is you're going to want to have attack bonus as high as you possibly can. You see Greed's attack is at 3223, and the way that defenses work is it's always going to be attack minus defense is going to give you your output for damage, right? At least the base number that they're going to be using for the multipliers, or prior to the multipliers for damage. So if you have 10k attack, enemy has 10k defense or 10k magic resistance, you have, like, you're going to tickle them. You're not going to do any damage at all. You need to get over that threshold to have something to play with for the multipliers, and any kind of multipliers you might add from artifacts and so on going forward. That's the reason you're going to always go for attack percentage when you are building legendaries, this can be a little bit more lenient. If you can get higher than that, you might want to go for 1 crit damage. If you're not sure, you can always check out prospector.gg, and I can kind of break down a lot of these heroes. So I'm going to bring this up right now, make sure it's coming up on screen. I'll zoom in. But if you go to the hero guides here, then we have, let's go to the epics. And let's see if I have one that is done. Here's one for Ein. Alright, so you can get all the skill breakdowns, the stage ratings, everything like that, awakenings, etc, etc. But for a lot of you, the big one is going to be what gear sets to be using. And as you can see, if you go to the left side here, Warlord is number 1. Warlord gives you attack percentage plus 25%. And we have Calamity. Calamity is a well, baby version. It just is the same thing minus the attack speed. You can also upgrade your Calamity to Warlord and Annihilating Might. So the ones that are giving you attack percentage are always going to be on the top. And when you go to the 3-piece set, it's going to say Soulbound Arcana, Aegis Wrath. This is very common. It's either Soulbound Arcana, Aegis Wrath, Infernal Roar, but I always like to include a third best set for tier 1. And in this case, it's going to be Night Terror. So for most of these heroes, it'll always be Night Terror as long as they can get under a 3 second attack interval, and they should be able to get that full 25% boost to their damage at all times. So try to shoot for Night Terror if you can. Increases damage by 25% for 3 seconds after making crit hits. So if as long as he's hitting within 3 seconds, he should get a 25% boost to all of his damage. And that goes for all of your DPS units. It's the same concept. If you can get attack speed, crit rate, crit damage, flat attack, that's great. You got attack speed, crit rate, and maybe some HP and rage regen or whatever, you know, something along those lines. Just try to make sure you get crit capped, and then you get a little bit of crit damage and a lot of attack speed. You want him to be pretty fast. Artifact, Tome of Greed. This is his exclusive artifact. If you don't have a tome, that is okay. You can shoot for a White Tower Trinket, which is a legendary version. If you don't have that, of course, go for a Keen Wisdom. This is going to increase his attack again. Greed is very, very powerful. His Awaken 5 is going to help you a lot because he has the ability to do both of the special effects, which is going to be a slow, and it's also going to be a, where is it here? Yeah, it's on the ultimate here. It creates a purgatory that can either inflict slow on all enemies in range or do 50% AoE damage per second, lasting for 8 seconds. So it's going to do the slow, and it's going to do the splash damage that's going to be happening. So Awaken 5 is going to make that much, much, much better, but there's also, you can replay it over and over for RNG. Sorry about a lot of the chatting here. Hollow is going to help you rage regen. Oh, she does have a tier 3 set on. She does not need it. Let's see here. I'll just go for some attack speed. That's all we need. We'll just break the setup at least. All right, so I'm doing a 12k attack. 10k or less is fine. You just want her to be really fast. 1.3 seconds. And if you can get a little rage, get some. If you can't, you can't. Euphoric Orb does not need to be level 25 either. You can pretty much put any Euphoric Orb on there. As far as the legendary artifacts go, there's nothing really that special. Whatever you can find to make work. She's just there to do some healing, and you want to be really fast because on her ultimate, or here it is, when Light of Bliss is activated, applies Rage Regen to all allies in range every 1 second. Restores 1.4% rage per second, okay? And you want her to do when she does her heals, you actually kind of want her to trickle heal and heal slowly, because the more she hits her allies, the more she's going to give them rage regen. All right, now Novros is the other DPS. Night Terror, Calamity, exact same thing, and the artifact is going to be a White Tower Trinket. Increase that attack by 18%. If you have a tier of Twilight at level 10 is always going to be better for most mages that don't have their own exclusive, for the most part. Alright, so Lightlock, same concept, fast. You just want them to be doing enough healing to keep the allies alive on the left side, which I'll show you during the fight. Artifact, doesn't matter, just keep them alive. I see I got a Bright Root Ring on there, it's not really that great. So Dolores. Dolores is a little more important. I actually won the Glacier set because this is pretty accessible. If you're doing Gear Raid 2, 18, I believe it is, you can at least pick yourself up some Glacier sets, and this gives you the opportunity for her to gain attack bonus equal to her 6% max HP when deployed. So she gets an attack boost, but Main stats, you're gonna look for attack percentage on all three. Then you're gonna look for flat attack and the substats. A little bit of HP is nice to try to keep her alive. On the left side, we want to go with Calamity. Attack bonus is the main priority. HP bonus is the next. Same thing over here. It's gonna be attack bonus with HP bonus. Of course, you can incorporate Rage in there to help her come back to her ultimate a lot faster. What she does on her kit is give you inspiration. Now, when you awaken her to level 1, she gets a 20% inspiration. When you awaken her to a level 5, when Graceful Dancing ends, increases the chance of increasing Rage to 80%. So she has the ability here, which is RNG, which is Merciful Beauty. 50 seconds after being deployed, permanently increases base attack. Healing multiplier by 5%, don't worry about the healing. Graceful Dancing will have a 50% chance to increase the hero's rage by 300 when it ends. Okay, so this ultimate is going to cost you 900, and you automatically can get a chance to add 300 rage immediately after using it, but it's RNG. So the only way to combat that is her exclusive amulet, if I can find it here. Healing effect plus 10 increases the chance of rage regen from Merciful Beauty by 20%. That puts it at 100%. But anyways, you're looking for attack. You want to try to get yourself to 10 to 12k attack depending where you are in the game. Just try to get that attack as high as you possibly can. That's the most important thing. 3 attack percentage pieces on the right side, flat attack substats, and attack percentage and flat attack Calamity on the left side. As for the artifact, Keen Wisdom is fine. You can go with a Golden Scarab if you have one. I would say a maxed out Keen is better than a level 10 Golden. So keep that in mind. Just possibly, maybe go for the Keen Wisdom. It's probably the best idea. Now, let us get into the fight so I can explain what's going on. Oh, but first, we have Aeon here. During the ultimate, cast a gravitating force, dealing 110% AoE damage. This is also going to put out vulnerabilities to physical and magic damage as well. And then we have Mari here, who on her passive here, when she's hitting enemies, she's inflicting slows, which is going to slow them down and stop them from hitting the walls. She does a freeze on her ultimate, and she also puts out those vulnerabilities to make sure that they stay up very consistently. You can go with just not really using Aeon if you want to, if you have Mari. Alright, let's get into it. That's a lot of talking to get you guys started. I apologize for that. Let's start out with putting our Navras right here. If you have an Invig set on Dolores, it'd be really important to place her second, but I like to place her second anyways. You could put her, well, let's just put her over here. Just like that. And then we're gonna wait for Greed to come out, because Greed's gonna get that magic res reduction on the enemies when he decides to use his ultimate. As you can see, it's gonna charge up, and as soon as it gets full and an enemy gets within range, he will launch that. So keep that in mind. We can go ahead and place down Laurel for a minute. Now we're gonna activate Navras before picking Laurel up, because when Navras is in his ultimate range, or when he's in his ultimate, when you pick up Laurel, it actually will boost up his rage regen from removing Laurel out the field. Let's go ahead and activate both of these two here, and then we'll pick up Laurel, and then we can go ahead and we can place down our healer, Hollow. Hollow's gonna add some more rage regen to these units over here. The idea is to get Greed and Navras here coming back to the ultimates and using their ultimates as often as possible. Navras is my boy. I love him early game. He's definitely worth investing in. He does so much AoE damage. Look at these two just demolishing it, and the gear sets are not that crazy, but for pushing into gear 819, you do need to have some decent stats. So you want to try to push for decent high attack. Crit damage is like the second, maybe third most important stat you're going to be shooting for. Don't worry about that too much. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get down Mari right here over by Lightlock, who's going to keep her alive, hopefully. And we will go ahead and wait for Laurel. Now, there's a trick with Laurel. When you place her on the field, she actually, if she's in the field, on the field when you activate an ultimate, the allies that are, I think, within her range will actually get a damage increase from using their ults while she's out on the field. So we'll do that first. Let's activate Navras. Let's activate Dolores. And then we can activate Hollow as well, and then go ahead and pick up Laurel. Alright, then we're gonna go ahead and place Aeon over here. Aeon's gonna help with control. You wanna use Mari whenever there's a lot of enemies on the wall. See how she freezes them up? It's very, very nice. Go ahead and activate Navras again, and you can activate Dolores. Dolores may not always be ready at the same time because she has that RNG in her kit. And even though you cycle Laurel, it really depends on if she gets that 300 rage after Merciful Beauty ends. Now, Laurel or Mari here is not freezing anything right now, so you can actually go ahead and activate Aeon, and she'll do this little vortex thing. Pull all these enemies in, which is fine. Pulls them back to the corner, and then we can freeze them. And then Nara should be able to pick them off by the time we get back to it. Let's go ahead and, yeah, we'll pick up Laurel right away. Activate Navras and Dolores, and then we'll activate Hollow again. Navras should pick those guys off, even though they have an, well, it's like a, I want to say, a heal buff coming from the boss. The boss likes to do a lot of heals. And we're just trying to power through that without an anti-heal. If you happen to have an anti-heal like Lasir or Artemis, somebody along those lines, go ahead and use them, and whenever this Forsaken Totem up here is about to activate, you just activate their ultimates and then stop them from healing. It's perfect. It'll make things a lot easier on you as far as your gear goes. Everything will be much simpler for you. Just keep activating these guys' ultimates. It's not rocket science in any kind of way. I promise. What you can do is we're gonna activate Mari again. We're gonna go ahead and pick up Laurel. You see how Navras went from 30% to 90%. So he's really close. Now we can activate him. Mari's done with her ult, so go ahead and activate Aeon as well. Activate Dolores again. Now we did just lose Aeon, that is okay. It's not great, it's not what we're looking for. But it really depends if you have HP built into your heroes. If you're going through this and one of your heroes keeps dying, you're just gonna have to go back out, put a little HP percentage into the build, try to keep him alive, okay? That's all I can really say, is you got to try to troubleshoot what is going on. All right, let's go ahead and put down Laurel again. We're gonna pick her up, activate Dolores. We should be able to take these guys out without much trouble. Activate Mari. A big group of them just went out. Here goes the last group. Come on, Navras. Now we can put down Aeon back on the field. Really nice with that redeployment time reduction from Volka, that if a hero dies, you can always get her back out. Alright. Activate Aeon. Just because we can. Why not? See, the wall is pretty close here. Go ahead and put down Laurel right before Greed activates. Alright. Pick him up. Activate Navras as well. This should clear out the two enemies here. And then all we really have left is the boss. And the boss you don't really have to do anything with. You can just keep taking it out. He attacks the wall so slow that if you have a little bit of health on there, it's very unlikely that he's going to be able to get through that. So now it's just a bit of a waiting game here. Activate the units as soon as they come up. Leave Mari off because she actually does better for you just off of her basic on a single target like the boss, but for activating those vulnerabilities. Whenever you activate her freeze, she stops doing that. So, all right, let's go ahead and pick up Laurel again. Activate Dolores. And by the way, you could place your Volka down here, facing up at the boss, and then put some vulnerabilities on the boss from Volka as well, or build her for damage in like Infernal Roar or Night Terror set or whatever you have, and do some more damage to speed it up. Activate everybody again, and that should be it. Guys, I hope I kept this pretty simple. I was trying to be pretty detailed, but not too far detailed where the video is, you know, 50 minutes long. It's hard to get and explain everything to you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. I'm happy to try to answer them as soon as I can get to them. If I do not answer, you can always join the Discord as well and ask some of the community members that are in our Discord. They're usually pretty good at helping out. Now, I did want to mention that I actually put Navras into the wrong team here, so make sure you get him under a Lord, okay? If you have a Lord for these factions, you want your DPS to be under the Lord. It's kind of like a main priority on this. The Lords will give you attack boost to their basic attack attributes. So increases faction team members' basic attributes by 10%. That is going to help you get your attack higher. That's going to help you get past those defenses or the magic resistance in this case. Reduces faction team members' skill costs by 15%. He's kind of, I believe he's the only option actually for this faction is a Lord Epic. Yes, Vixera is also going to be an option, but right now he is the only Lord. So as you guys get Vixera, it could even be a little bit better. Aeon is another Lord for the Cultist faction. There is another option. We have a Bizu. And Bizu is actually a really good unit. The reason I like to bring these units in is because when units have slow, stun, freeze, immobilized state, or other CC effects, it increases the allies' damage to them by 20%. So that works, and she doesn't really need to be placed on the field, like I said. If she's not there, it's not going to hurt anything, but you definitely want to have Mari on the field. I think that's it, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask down in the comments. Also, join the Discord if you want more details. If you need takeovers or anything like that, you can always message me or tag me in Discord as well and ask me details about that. Don't forget to go and check out prospector.gg as well. There's plenty of information on there about every hero you want to see, and it's always in beta, so there's a lot of heroes that might not be completed, but they will be very soon. We're working on it diligently and very hard. And finally, if you wouldn't mind using my Smile1 link, it's smile1.prospector.gg, and if you ever purchase anything in the game, please use Smile1. And if you wouldn't mind using my link to get there, because they do give me a 5% kickback from all purchases made using that link. But anyways, I've been the Prospector. I hope you enjoyed this guide. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep digging.